Hey there, welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. The summer sun is blazing, so now's the time to keep cool and stay safe. Be sure to drink plenty of water, avoid the midday heat, and wear light, breathable clothing. These simple tips can make a world of difference in this season. We happen to have two observances today, International Day of Friendship and World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. So grab your water bottle and let's dive into this informative 30-minute program.
The past has shaped us, but the future, it's powered by connection. For 20 years, the Universal Service Fund has been bridging the digital divide, with over 400 public Wi-Fi hotspots lighting up verandas, homes, and hopes. From classrooms to communities, USF powers access to opportunity, helping youth dream bigger, learn smarter, earn online, and helping families stay close, even from far away. One mission, 2 decades, thousands of lives transformed. Connected at 20, committed for a lifetime. The Universal Service Fund, connecting you to more.
Good day, I'm Lisa Rowe and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, July 30, 2025. Concrete work has begun for the development of the Caymanas Special Economic Zone along the Mandela Highway in St. Catherine. The Port Authority of Jamaica, PAJ, broke ground on Tuesday, symbolizing the official launch of the project that will transform 700 acres of land. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the agency will undertake the development of 50 acres in the first phase, with financing from the divestment of assets through our local stock market and other means. He asserts that the actualization of the project signals a commitment to creating a modern logistics ecosystem that positions Jamaica as a competitive hub in the global supply chain.
The entire Kingston Harbour is going to see a surge in port and shipping related investments, because already we are seeing private investments in a maritime ecosystem in and around that area. We are seeing increased investments in tug services, in bunkering, and in dry dock and vessel repairs. So the dream of Jamaica becoming a shipping and logistics hub is moving even closer now to being a reality. And that is because of strategic, instrumental actions of the government, and also the great signs that our economy has shown to foreign investors to come in and put stake in Jamaica's economy.
The Caymanas Special Economic Zone is expected to generate over 4,000 direct and indirect jobs, attract significant foreign direct investment, and expand Jamaica's footprint in the $560 billion global logistics market. The state-of-the-art logistics park will feature warehousing, manufacturing, cross-docking facilities, and e-commerce centers. It will also include light industries, agro-processing, pharmaceuticals, tech services, and BPO, among others. Another 3 million trees will be planted across the island over the next 5 years as part of a broader strategy to mitigate climate change. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says it will further increase forest cover and improve the overall environment. He points out that the administration has taken steps to preserve the island's tree cover with the planting of more than 3 million trees over the last 5 years and installing a tree canopy along our roadways.
When you go on the East-West Highway and you look on the right side when you're coming in, all of those trees that you see there, we planted them. And we have now given a directive to plant another 3 million trees over the next 5 years.
The Prime Minister underscores the importance of environmental stewardship as communities undergo development. He is urging citizens as they carry out their building activities to consider the protection of the environment, not just for personal convenience or the benefit of the community, but for the benefit of generations yet to come.
It is a duty that each and every one of us here has, that we have to start to think in this way. We all need somewhere to live. But increasingly we are seeing that our private decisions about where we choose to live and how we choose to live is having serious public, national, and global consequences, which comes back to threaten our own shelter.
The Prime Minister was addressing the recent handover of the $326 million Myton Gully Drainage Improvement Project in Old Harbour, St. Catherine. The project was undertaken to address flooding in Myton Gully and other surrounding areas, improving the lives of more than 38,000 residents. An additional $12 million has been allocated to complete the first phase of renovations at the Yellas Market in St. Thomas. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie made the announcement during a tour of the facility on Friday. He said the additional funds would be used to complete critical works needed to finalize the market's renovation.
This additional funding, as I said before, will enable the work to be concluded by taking in the external paving, painting of the fence, and other things that needs to be done. And I'm hoping that the contractors will be able to complete this portion of work in short order.
Renovation of the market began last year after the property was returned to the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation, ending a lease that spanned more than 2 decades. Yellas is one of several public markets across the island earmarked for rehabilitation. 30 farmers in St. Thomas have received land leases through the Sugar Company of Jamaica SCJ Holdings Limited regularization program. The leases were handed over by Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining Floyd Green during a launch event held last week in the parish. The regularization program gives the farmers legal access to unused sugar lands so they can farm and invest in agriculture. Minister Green says the presentation of leases marks a significant step towards restoring dignity to farmers and correcting long-standing historical imbalances.
Last year, over 6,000 acres of land across the parishes of St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Thomas, Trelawney, and Westmoreland have been made available for lease for a variety of purposes, including cash crop farming, horticulture, greenhouse, aquaculture, fish farming, livestock rearing, and grass cultivation. But more than that, we have said we are on a drive to formalize leases. So this is not just happening in St. Thomas.
Minister Green emphasizes that already 34 farmers occupying 293 acres in Long Pond, Trelawney have been regularized, while in St. Catherine, 13 farms covering 82 acres have also been made legal. To date, a total of 84,000 acres have been leased across the country. One farmer could hardly contain her joy after receiving her official land lease.
And I am so happy, I'm so excited to have this piece of paper in my hand today, knowing that this is my passport. Glory to the Father, say, yes, I have all authority to be on that land, and this is our passport. You can't take it from me, you can't run me off. I'm happy.
And finally, a St. Thomas mother of 4 is now living in improved conditions thanks to the government's efforts to support the nation's most vulnerable. Denise Cheeto previously received a 1-bedroom home under the new social housing program. Now, another room has been added and fully furnished under the indigent housing program. Ms. Cheeto, who has 4 children, lives with a disability affecting both hands. Her children are now under the care of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation with educational and welfare support in place. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie says it reflects the government's commitment to fairness in housing support.
We have not played politics in the provision of housing, social housing, indigent housing.
We have been open, we have been very transparent in how we operate, and there is no audit that has been done that can point to any questionable execution of the projects.
Denise Chito expressed gratitude for the support.
I want to say thank you to the Ministry of Local Government, the Poor Relief Department, who has been a blessing to me and my children. I want to say thank you to each and everyone who had made this possible for us today.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lisa Rowe. Thanks for watching.
As we celebrate Healthcare Workers Appreciation Month, we shine the spotlight on the daily routines of a public health nurse and a medical imaging practitioner.
Some answer the call in the quiet shadows of machines. Others step boldly into bustling communities. One captures what the eye cannot see. The other walks with families face to face, day by day. This is a moment in the lives of two public healthcare professionals.
Janelle White Roberts. I'm a medical imaging practitioner at the Savlamar Public General Hospital. Radiography has always been a calling. I've been wanting to be in this profession from high school after seeing just one X-ray image.
So I'm Carol Smith-Bihari, Senior Public Health Nurse with the Westmoreland Health Department. I've been in nursing for over 30 years now, and I have no regrets. Being in primary care is what I enjoy. I'm responsible for nursing administration and surveillance in the parish. We are in charge of 20 health centers with over 130 plus CHAs, 50 odd nurses, and we have to monitor our people. The operations of the health centers and to ensure that our patients are sorted daily with adequate staffing, because life happens. The day could start with a call that someone is not well, an emergency bail. So staffing usually begins before you actually get to the workplace, and that allows us time to manage and reassign staff to do coverage based on the clinics that we have that needs attention, because staffing is the priority.
Here at South, we offer emergency X-rays. We offer services to the health centers from all over Westmoreland, and this machine or this service provides a good role in providing these X-rays for these patients. We offer pediatric X-rays. We do have a ward here. We're gonna take a picture, right? They're children. So walking into the room, you see this big thing in front of you. Your first thing is like, I'm not going to go under that. So just the reassurance. Good job, don't sleep now, all right? Our first thing when the patient comes into the room is to safely put them on the table, position them in the correct anatomical position for each body part. And then we're saying, okay, you need to keep still, because if you move, it will spoil the X-ray. Giving them the right amount of exposure at the lowest dose to produce an optimal film so the doctor is able to make a diagnosis.
I enjoy my work. I enjoy nursing. I love it. But every day you just have to be ready for the unexpected. You can plan your day, but changes do happen. Sometimes an emergency situation can happen just as you enter the building, and you have to drop everything and attend to based on what is happening. So it varies. Administrative duties are there You respond daily to emails, WhatsApp calls, phone calls, you name it, a myriad of responsibilities, and the Zoom meetings, planned and unplanned, and the ones that you get called into. I look at communicable disease, and with that, I do surveillance at the hospital, the private hospitals, the hotels in the parish, schools, all institutions that need to be monitored on a day-to-day basis to ensure we don't have outbreaks or anything that's under the radar.
We have a saying in radiography that we're the eyes of medicine because we're the first to see and then the doctors will diagnose. So I think it's a calling for me and I think that's why I'm here.
So if you're really passionate about people and their care, do something in health. If this is your path, why not take the moment and get on board?
In machines and in moments, they move the mission of public health forward. Not all heroes wear stethoscopes, but in their hands, lives are seen, touched, and transformed.
Living in a systematic adjudication area, it's time to secure what's yours. The National Land Agency is distributing titles under its systematic land registration program. Persons in St. Elizabeth and Manchester visit the Junction Guest House in St. Elizabeth to collect your title. In St. Catherine, we're coming to you house to house. To collect your title, bring your government-issued photo ID. If someone is collecting on your behalf, they should bring a JP certified letter and their government-issued photo ID. For more information, call 876-750-5263 or visit nla.gov.jm. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
And now we shed light on the harsh reality of human trafficking in Jamaica, a crime that steals freedom and shatters lives. Through the voice of survivors and the work of the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, we're reminded that behind every case is a person longing to be seen, heard, and protected.
Sometimes when persons hear trafficking, they think about sexual exploitation.
But it's much broader than that. It also involves persons being forced into labor, marriages, begging, and domestic servitude, among other acts. Human trafficking can affect anyone, regardless of gender or socioeconomic background. Any boy or girl, woman or man can be a victim of human trafficking. Manager of the Trafficking in Persons Secretariat, Shanae Russell Robinson, says in Jamaica, the two common forms of trafficking are forced labor and sex trafficking, with children being the primary victims.
Our victim mainly, sadly so, has been mostly children, meaning persons under the age of 18 years old, has been our main victims of trafficking in persons in Jamaica, as well as most of our victims are local persons, and perhaps a little over 60% are locals and the rest is international or non-national victims.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, says it has taken note of a worrying trend where a family member, parent or guardian is the trafficker or the one who sells a child to a third-party trafficker. The crime, known as familial trafficking, involves primarily maternal figures, and based on evidence, most local cases of this type of human trafficking involve sexual exploitation.
Another trend that we are seeing, it's developing, is that women who are supposed to be the parents of or the guardians of these children are the ones who are seemingly seeking to exploit them.
Detective Inspector Gordon says a mother was arrested and charged for exploitation of her daughter. Another mother was arrested and charged in June 2021 for a similar offense, with other investigations currently underway against parents or guardians of children who have told the authorities that they were exploited. The Ministry of National Security, through the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, has been raising awareness of these activities as part of efforts to curtail human trafficking in the country and sensitize the public about what the crime looks like.
The nature of human trafficking is that it continues to evolve, and it is not something that is easily, the concept of it is not easily grasped. But the basic knowledge of human trafficking, persons tend to believe that certain activities are acceptable, and because of this, they do not report. Persons tend to believe that human trafficking must involve transportation.
The Ministry of National Security has been seeing success in its fight against human trafficking. Ms. Russell Robinson says over 100 victims have been rescued since 2010. In addition, 8 traffickers were convicted within the courts. Judges have also been trained in the laws and procedures of the Trafficking in Persons Prevention, Suppression and Punishment Act.
The Act was also amended in 2013, 2018, and just recently, 2021. So these are measures that we have been put in place to ensure that Jamaica is aligned with international best practices and to ensure that we are keeping abreast of the changing times, because traffickers are also constantly evolving their methods.
Ms. Russell Robinson says while the mandate of the task force is to catch perpetrators, the focus is also to protect victims of trafficking, as well as carry out measures to reduce such incidents locally. A critical aspect of the NATFATIP's mandate is the reintegration of victims into society. The support is a priority based on the psychological impact of the ordeal on victims.
After you've come out of a life of trafficking in persons, you are devastated, you are traumatized, and you will need the assistance of persons as well as your family members and government and other stakeholders to assist you in getting back to a normal life.
Systems in place to offer assistance include a government-operated shelter for victims of trafficking, a reintegration program, assistance with educational expenses and job opportunities, as well as training and other extracurricular skills. There is also assistance with immigration documents such as passport and other forms of ID if the victim is a non-national. This is in addition to psychosocial counseling by the Victim Services Division of the Ministry of Justice and the Child Protection and Family Services Agency.
This is long-term counseling, so it's not just counseling for a short term, because some victims, they suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder and a whole host of other medical conditions. So we offer those services to help them to cope within society. And most importantly, depending on the circumstances that would have led them into a life of trafficking, we want to ensure that we prevent them from getting back into those circumstances.
Ms. Russell Robinson says survivors are key stakeholders in the fight against human trafficking. Their experiences, she says, play a critical role in establishing effective measures to prevent the crime, as well as to identify and rescue victims and provide the support needed for their rehabilitation.
It is best to get first-hand information from victims on how we can assist them and if our guidelines and policies in place are up to standard and efficient to assist victims.
With all hands on deck, we can fight human trafficking.
Please do your due diligence. Always exercise care and caution when you're conducting your business. Be wise, open your eyes, spot them, stop them, and report them.
If you suspect or know that someone is being trafficked, or if you are a victim of human trafficking, call the nearest police station or the police emergency numbers 311, 811, or 119 and make a report. You may also send an email to tip.ocid@jcf.gov.jm or call the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime CTOC at 876-967-1389.
road drive past them. Road safety time, a time for slow down. Cut the speed, the young come grow. Motorists, please look out for us when we're crossing the road.
The summer holiday for children is their time to rest and have fun. But as parents and guardians, it is our duty to ensure they don't lose sight of the knowledge learned in school. Here are some tips to help keep your little ones entertained while at home. Spend time cooking together. Cooking is a lifelong skill. It doesn't hurt teaching your child how to find their way around the kitchen and prepare simple yet filling meals. But remember, safety first. Have your child read for at least 30 minutes a day. Yes, reading is fundamental, and the earlier they start, the better. But not just any books. Ensure they have educational content or provide life lessons. Engage in meaningful vocabulary building conversations. While you engage in daily conversations, introduce them to new words. Give them context clues and use these words in sentences. Let this be a fun and learning experience for you both. Try out safe at-home science or art projects. Children are naturally curious, so imagine how fun carrying out science experiments would be for them. Likewise, art projects. Expose them to outdoor activities. Let's bring back the days where we explored the great outdoors and connected with nature. Let's balance fun and learning this summer by following these tips on how to beat the summer slide.
We're at the end of today's show, but be sure to join us again tomorrow for another lineup geared towards providing you with information on the government's policies and initiatives for building a better Jamaica. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm, or connect with us on social media. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.